Hi, I'm Aaliyah Woods, co-founder of Commonwealth Urban Farms. This is our Beginning Gardener video series designed to help you have a successful garden even if you've never planted a seed in your life. So today we're going to do something different. Instead of focusing on planting, we're going to focus on eating, on harvesting and preparing some of these yummy vegetables and then eating them. So let's start with our tomatoes. The sun-gold tomatoes are really kicking in. And we've got a lot to harvest. Now we did have more rain, of course, between last week and this week, and some of them have split, but most of them are doing just great. There's a few that have split and already gone south. So we're going to harvest all our tomatoes, and then we also want some of our herbs. So we got basil here. The basil is starting to go to seed, and it's really important to cut off the branches that have the seeds on, or that are beginning to go to seed there, because if it goes to seed, then the plant says to itself, mission accomplished, I've done my job of reproducing, and then it's going to start to die off. So as long as we keep clipping off the flowers and it will turn into seed, then the plant is more likely to keep producing. So we can have basil that produces well all summer long if we come out and harvest it frequently. And we have some purple basil here too. Very nice. Got some parsley. Yay. And then we have this dill, which is so pretty. We actually use it grow it and use it as a cut flower in our cut flower garden, but it's also a wonderful culinary addition to the kitchen. So we'll snip off some of that. This would be a really pretty garnish on a platter as well. Now, before we go back in the house, I also want to show you this carrot bed. You might remember that the carrots we planted in our smart pots got overwhelmed by the lettuce growing next to them, and we lost the carrots. So that was a crop failure. But then I went ahead and just took one pot and planted it purely in carrots. So this we planted about 2 months ago, maybe 2.5 months ago, and you can see the carrots are getting big enough now to harvest. Carrots, when they're grown in smart pots, are so easy to pull out because the soil is really loose. They come out pretty clean and nice long straight roots. We get fantastic carrot harvest from the smart pots. We'll just do it just like that. So a couple more, and some of these are not quite ready yet, but most of them are big enough to pull. There we go. So this is what we've been harvesting from the garden this week, both from our smart pots and also from our bigger garden. We've got our cherry tomatoes, the sun-golds here, the carrots that we just harvested, some garlic. We're in the middle of Blackberry week. Some of our larger tomatoes. These are turnips that we harvested from the other part of the garden, and green beans. And then of course the green and purple basil and parsley. We have some oregano. And we also had our best plum harvest ever. That was very exciting. Now, let's make this into some yummy food to eat. Now we're going to make Panzanella salad, which is my most favorite salad ever in the whole world. I learned this from Camilla Gamble, my dear friend who has Guilford Gardens and Cam's Cookery. So we're going to chop up our tomatoes, our wonderful little sun-gold tomatoes, just cut them in half. I've already chopped up some big tomatoes from our big garden, so we'll add those all together. And then once we have the sun-golds chopped up, then we'll add some cucumber. We got a cucumber from the big garden too, so we'll chop that up to add it to the salad. And I like it in nice big chunks, like that. And we'll add some basil. So we've got the leaves that I pulled off of the basil stems that we picked. So we'll chop that up, add that in. We also have some arugula from our big garden. This was a late planting of arugula. We seeded it in May, so we're harvesting it now. It won't stay good all summer, but we'll get a few more greens before the heat really sets in. All right, we'll add this to the tomatoes and the cucumbers and the basil and mix it up. And now we'll add croutons. In the summer, I don't want to turn the oven on to make homemade croutons, but Cam also showed me this trick of just tossing bread chunks with olive oil and cooking them in the frying pan briefly, and they brown up and are great. So we'll add those, And then we're going to add a little bit of goat cheese as well. All right. Now let's make a light lemon vinaigrette to go with the salad. I'm not much of one for measuring, so we're just going to toss it together. I started with some minced garlic. Now we're going to add some olive oil, a few cloves, and a little bit of balsamic vinegar. Fresh lemon juice. A little bit of Dijon mustard. Oh, let's do a little bit more. All right. Oh, salt and pepper. How do you do these? Okay, that's not what I have at home. Whisk it up. Give it a little bit of a taste. Let's see how we're doing on that. That's pretty good, actually. Actually, that's really good. Put a little more lemon in. All right, and now we'll pour it over the salad. And toss it. So the best thing to do is to let this sit for about half an hour for the flavors to mingle. Some of us can't wait that long, but if you can, that's really the best thing. Okay. So today is the last Wednesday in June, and Wednesdays are Harvest Day at Commonwealth. And our dear friend and neighbor and Veggie Club manager, Pat, makes this wonderful community meal for us every Wednesday for everybody who's working here that day. And she draws the ingredients from the farm. So Pat, tell us about it.
Yeah, that's the fun part about not using a recipe, but using what you have. And this time of the year, it's really, really easy because we have wonderful ingredients from the farm. Today we're having we have lots of green beans, or a pretty nice share of green beans. So we're having a salad with green beans and potatoes and garlic from the garden, and a little Parmesan and a light vinaigrette and a little bit of sun-dried tomatoes.
And dill.
And dill. Yes, wonderful, delicious dill. We're having the Panzanella salad that Leah made. And then this is a black bean salad with blackberries. We have blackberries, so we thought, what can we put them in? And we're putting them in the black bean salad. It also has some zucchini and some of our tomatoes from the garden, garlic, a vinaigrette, but lots of Mexican kind of spices, some oregano and basil from our garden, and zucchini and some cumin. So we're getting ready and these are our plums off the plum tree. Some are ready to eat and some will ripen for next week. But this is our lunch for today.
What a feast. Thank you, Pat. Great to have everybody here for the meal. Next week, we're going to focus on microgreens. Hope to see you then. Happy gardening and happy eating.